Hey guys, this is your boy Solid Mind, and today I'm gonna talk to you guys about the Huawei P20 Pro. Now Huawei released the P20 and the Pro version, but today I'm gonna focus on the Pro version, and these are my thoughts about the new Huawei P20 Pro. The first major thing about this phone is that it looks very similar to the iPhone X. If you look at the pictures comparing the Huawei P20 and the iPhone X, you can both see that the Huawei P20 Pro have the notch on it. And one thing that I can see here is that I like the way the Huawei P20 Pro did it, in the sense that they made the notch so small. It's not as small as the Essential phone, but it has enough in the notch to have a microphone and a camera in it and a sensor as well. So it's smaller than the iPhone X, but it's a good size. One thing about the Huawei P20 that I like is the fact that it has the fingerprint scanner and the home button in the front. Nowadays we are seeing that the fingerprint scanner is now at the back, and today looking at the Huawei P20, I'm getting that nostalgic feeling towards the phone, in the sense that the fingerprint scanner and the home button are in the front, just like all the previous phones, the previous iPhones, the previous Samsungs, the previous Huaweis. And bringing that back with a notch, to me is a bit nostalgic in a sense, because we're losing that functionality of a home button and a fingerprint scanner. They're now becoming either separate, like for example with the Galaxy S9 or the S8, you can see that the fingerprint scanner and the home button are separate. You can just press on the screen as a home button, but the fingerprint scanner is a bit separate. So I like the fact that it has that, but the downside to that is that it has a small bezel on top and it has a notch, but at the bottom it has the fingerprint scanner, which gives it like a, doesn't give it that infinity display kind of feeling. There's like a little big area at the bottom, although that gives you the functionality of having actual buttons on the phone, which to me is an amazing thing. Now, one of the major things that the Huawei P20 has done is the fact that it's the first ever phone to have 3 cameras. It's not the first phone to have multiple cameras. There's one that had like 20 cameras, but it's the first phone to implement 3 cameras that are different in a very unique way that I personally am impressed with. So here are the specs. The Huawei P20 Pro has a, first of all, just standard, has a 20 megapixel front camera. And as a photographer, I'll tell you guys this, but megapixels don't really matter that much, only if you're gonna zoom in and crop. But it has a 20 megapixel front camera, which is pretty amazing. But all the magic for this camera is in the back, and in the back there's 3 cameras. There's an RGB camera, there's a mono camera, and there's a telephoto camera. Now the RGB camera is 40 megapixels. That's the main camera. That is a lot. That is, for example, let me tell you, my Canon 6D has got about 21 megapixels, but the sensor is so huge, and so it doesn't have as many megapixels as the Huawei P20 Pro, but the sensor size means that it takes in more light, more details, better contrast. And with this phone, actually, before I go into more details about the camera, the sensor size on this phone is almost twice as big as the iPhone X and the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. So this phone already has almost twice the sensor size of these phones, and it has 3 cameras: 20 megapixel front camera, 40 megapixel rear RGB camera, and the 40 megapixel camera is at f1.8. It has a 20 megapixel mono camera, which is at 1.6, f1.6, and we also have a standard 8 megapixel 3 times optical zoom telephoto camera at f2.4. So this phone has got an AI feature that puts all these 3 cameras together to create a very good image. So you literally have the power to zoom in as much as you want. You can go in as far as you want. The camera has got enough megapixels to literally crop or take a picture and zoom in like crazy. So this camera or these cameras that Huawei have put one of the best cameras I could say on the phone right now. It's literally destroyed the iPhone 10 and destroyed the S9, but I need to look at sample images and test out the phone itself for me to conclude that. One thing I like about the Huawei P20 Pro is that it comes in this new color. It's like a twilight two-tone gradient kind of color where like it shifts based upon the angle you're looking at it on. It's really good. It's subtle, but I like the color style. Now let's go into the specifications for this phone. First of all, the phone is a 6.1 OLED screen with an aspect ratio of 1.7 to 9, which is, you know, not standard, but it's just a little bit taller than the aspect ratio of the Samsung Galaxy S9 and the S8. It has a 4000 milliamp hour battery, which is 600 milliamp hours more than its little brother, the Huawei P20. This 4000 milliamp hour battery will basically almost give you 2 days of battery use if you use it like normally. This 4000 milliamp hour battery that the Huawei P20 Pro has is the same capacity as what we find in the Razer phone, which is really amazing. It has a Kirin 970 processor, which is the same as last year's, but this processor helps with the augmented reality feature of the phone, so it's not the most recent processor, but for the phone it works just fine. It has IP67 waterproofing, which is not as good as what the S9 has, Samsung Galaxy S9, but the ratings between the Huawei P20 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy S9 on the IP certification, they're very close to each other, and for normal day-to-day use you wouldn't even see much difference, or in the sense that you can take it on the rain. There's not much difference in the grading from the Huawei P20 Pro and the S9. It's running Android 8.1 straight out of the box, and it's got 6 gigabytes of RAM, and it also has 128 gigabytes of storage. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we are about to literally reach 200 subscribers, so I appreciate that. Please subscribe right now. There's a massive giveaway happening like in the next 2 months if we reach our goal, and we are gonna reach 1000 subs by the end of May. I believe it. Do you know why? Because we are going to be the biggest tech community on YouTube. So like, comment, subscribe,